In her session IPA, you taste the distance from the city, the fruity, intensiveness, and the freshness of the early year in the country. Hi guys, it's Jim here from Dr. Tankenstein with another episode of Beers of the British Isles. On today's episode, we're drinking The Sister. Now this beer is brought to you by the German craft beer Resistance. Yeah, I'd never heard of them either. I picked it up at Lidl for about £1.50. Now there is so much to talk about before we even talk about the beer on this one. The German craft beer Resistance brewery, obviously German, and if they have, can I say they have the best website I've ever seen of any brewery ever? Just go over there. I think the website is steam-brew.com. Just head over there, right? The way this brewery works is it has 6 characters. They're called the Brave Six. And these characters each survived some kind of post-apocalyptic world in which beer is prohibited. The 6 characters, the Brave Six, go underground and brew beer, I guess, bootleg it sort of thing. And today we're drinking The Sister. The Sister is this character here that I'm drinking, and it's just amazing. It's an incredible story that they weave through the whole thing, and like each character has a different beer, and each beer is a different style. Obviously, I'll just talk about The Sister today, but it's great. Definitely go check it out. The animation's amazing. The writing's awesome. Go check it out. Now, that being said, The Sister, okay? The reason I picked this up was because of the can. Firstly, it's a 500ml can. It's 0.5 litre can, which is always great. The can itself seems a little confused. So firstly, it has this kind of cool fantasy character on it. It says Session IPA on it. Great. It's 4.9%, but great. You know, Session IPA, fine. Then, in big bold letters on the front of the can, it says Pale Ale. You really actually have to dig quite hard to find out that this beer is called The Sister, if that is in fact what it's called. So I don't know whether this is a session IPA or whether it's a session pale ale or a 4.9%, whether it's a session beer at all. There's also this, if I'm honest, the main thing that made me pick up this beer is that in big bold letters along the side it says, "Let's oil the gears of life." And I don't know why, I just can't help but think that somehow sexual. I'm sure it isn't, I'm really, really sure it isn't. But that's kind of just how it comes across to me. I don't know, maybe my mind's in the gutter there on that one. But yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting looking beer. It certainly stands out. It stands out despite the can being sort of just this plain silver can. The artwork really lifts it up. The brewery seemed cool. Let's see if they can make beer. We're in the glass, we're all cold, nice and fizzy, it's looking good. So this beer was kind of skirting the edges between IPA and Pale Ale on its packaging. So that's kind of something I need to decide for myself which one of those it is. I don't have a lot of information about it other than it's, like I say, 4.9% and apparently still a session beer. I guess they do it harder over there in Germany. And the hops that are in this are Vic Secret hops. Vic Secret kind of came and went. It was sort of like, it was the new kid on the block, and then unfortunately, as happens in the hop world, an even newer kid joined the block and Vic Secret kind of got ignored. It was an Australian hop, kind of similar, a bit milder to Galaxy. So Galaxy is the ultimate hop in my opinion. Vic Secret is kind of a cousin of this, just a little bit milder than Galaxy. So, you know, kind of just all encompassing, tropical, piney, you know, everything that's good in the world. Wow, literally inhaled that. Now, the aroma's not great. But by not great, I mean not really quite there. Yeah, the aroma is basically nothing, if I'm honest. So let me dig into the bit. So I see what they've done here, and well, I don't see what they've done. I'm tasting it and I'm assuming what they've done. And I have to be careful what I say. What was it? The Vic Secret, the hops are very soft in the background. They are there, and if you look for them very hard, you can find them, and it's actually quite nice. You know, they're kind of like an Easter egg in this whole thing, when really, for an IPA pale ale, they should be sort of at the front. What I'm going to say as my, it's very bready. It's very malty. The colour is deceiving because it looks like it could be like kind of a cool craft American pale ale, or maybe not an American pale ale, but an American IPA perhaps. The bitterness isn't really there. It's definitely on the sweeter side, the maltier side as well. Very bready. I mean, the last video I did on lager, was it 2 or 3 videos ago? It's kind of reminiscent of that. Okay, let's sum this up then. So when I cracked this beer open, I was unsure whether it was going to be an IPA or a pale ale, because they mentioned both on the can, and I only found one hop that was in there. You know, the rest of the recipe's kind of tucked away. I don't think it's either of those things, if I'm honest. If you'd have given me this beer completely blind, without telling me about the style or the cool mythical character that made it, I would have said that this was a dry hopped lager, if not just a lager. You see, I went looking for that Vic Secret. I went looking for that soft, peachy flavour. That, I mean, let's be fair, I'll give it another crack. Yeah, I went looking for that soft peachy flavour. It's quite pleasant because I knew it was going to be in there. I knew that there were some hops in this. But the thing that smacks you in the face is the maltiness. It's the breadiness. It's very, very bready. It's very malty. If I was rating this on a scale of 0 to pale ale or 0 to IPA, it would actually be sort of a 4. Because there's no bitterness, there's no hop aroma, there's not an awful lot of hop flavour. Even though I enjoy the hop flavour that they've put in this, I really had to look for it. You know, I know this hop, so I kind of found it in there, but it's got to be a 4 in terms of matching the style. In terms of being an actual beer, it's great. So I'll draw your attention to the character that brewed this beer, the sister. So the brewery say that in her session IPA, You taste the distance from the city, the fruity intensiveness, and the freshness of the early year in the country. I don't know if that made it to this beer or not. I'm certainly not getting any of that. And intensive fruity intensiveness, I'm not really getting that either. That being said, what I will say for this beer, I do still think that you should go get it. I do. I think that you should go and buy a can of this. And buy a can of this and give it to somebody who is trying to dip their toe into craft beer, okay? And that's in no way meant to be an insult to the brewery, because I think this brewery are awesome and I really want to try some of their other beers. I want to try them all. I want to read all the stories that they have going on. I want to read the Master and the Sparky or whatever they're called. I want to read all those stories and taste all those beers. But this one particularly, I think that you should go out and buy this beer and give it to somebody who doesn't like craft beer and talk them through what I've just said. You know, talk them through the breadiness, talk them through the maltiness, talk them through maybe you can pick some aroma out in there, but hidden very, very carefully in this beer is a delicious hop flavor. And it doesn't smack you in the face. It doesn't scare you away, it doesn't put you off, it doesn't even really say a word. But if you know it's there, you can find it, and it's actually delicious once you do. So head on down to, if you're in the UK, Lidl, I guess, Lidl. Head on down to Lidl, grab yourself a can of this, and to be honest, if you were looking for a session IPA, maybe just keep looking. This beer is a law unto itself, maybe due to all the prohibition going on in that mythical world of theirs. But grab yourselves the Sister from Lidl, and as you're drinking it, or maybe as you're buying it, maybe more appropriate, stick on Everybody Dance Now. Because ever since I bought this beer, I haven't been able to get the Simpsons gay steel mill scene out of my head. And as I've been sort of researching this beer, just Everybody Dance Now has just been in my head. So head down to Lidl, grab yourself a beer, stick on that song, and hey, let's see what happens, eh? Until then, cheers guys.